Hi all, this is Dr. J coming to you live, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather was a crisp, beautiful, sunny fall day, and Dr. J was lucky enough to spend most of the day outdoors, not having to watch the vicissitudes of the NASDAQ, Dow, S&P 500, and the downward performance of almost all my biotechs. It was not a pleasant day on Wall Street, a much more pleasant day outdoors in Long Island, New York. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a little bit about the performance of the Dow for the entire week, for the day, the performance of some of the biotechs, in particular Geron, AMRN, Immunomedics, which had a big surprise move to the upside today and is kind of broken out. I want to take a look at that one, point out the chart to you on Immunomedics. So those are the keys. When I came to you last 2 days ago, on Wednesday, I kind of changed my original thinking, which was that the Dow would go up and settle through Wednesday, go into like consolidation mode before continuing with its third leg down. That was my Friday forecast. But on Wednesday, I kind of amended it. I kind of feel that we're due to get a further upside, at least some further upside, before we resume with another leg down. Of course, when I came to you on Wednesday, I told you that most of the analysts on the street were thinking that the correction was over, done, 8%, finished, buy, buy, buy. Well, I'm one of the analysts, if you so-called analysts, that self-appointed name analyst, who feels that there's a third leg that will happen and will take us down. It may have already began on Thursday or not. So let's take a look at the Dow. It's silly to keep you in suspense much longer. By the way, you should do your own due diligence because you shouldn't trust any analyst, whether it's Dr. J with his technical analysis and some fundamental analysis, or Jim Cramer or whoever. Don't trust anybody. I mean, you're responsible for your own money. Do your own due diligence. Check with your investment advisors. Occasionally, I have very good ideas. Follow me, but follow me at your own risk. Know that the risk is yours. So with having said that, if you do enjoy this video, and I hope you do, and enjoy Dr. J in general, please tell your friends about it. Share the link, write a comment, give me suggestions as to further stocks to look at, perhaps. And also follow me on and subscribe to the channel, definitely. And on social media at gern. Let's go to the video charts. I'm going to share screen, which takes a couple of seconds. So let's share screen. Put my glasses on for this. Okay, so let's look first at the Dow Jones Industrial Averages, the daily. And while we're loading, oh, there we go, we're in. Let me just slide this over a little bit so that we can see the doodle that I made, the little line that I drew. This is what I think will happen. I think we'll get a leg up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, maybe the whole week. I think the Dow goes back as high as 26,300, something like that, with a touch of this with a touch of this upward trend line. Or maybe not. Maybe it stops right here at resistance at 26,163, somewhere around there. And then starts a 1, 2, 3 leg down, and maybe 2 little blips up, further correction that takes us down to the 24,000 level. So my feeling is for the Dow, the same as it was on Wednesday. 2,000 point move down was leg one. 1,000 point move up would be leg two. And the final leg would be a 2,000 move down for a total of 3,000 points from 27,000 to 24,000. Then I will say, done correction, time to go long. Okay, so that's what I think of the Dow. What did it do this week? Well, it opened the week on the down note. It was kind of a small red candle that took us down to a low of 25.2. And we closed slightly higher than that, actually. So from Monday to Friday, it wasn't the worst. I mean, we went as high as 25.8, but we wound up closing today at 25.444. The only major average that was up at all, and it was only up 0.25%. And if you look at the daily today, you'll see that it zigzagged quite a lot during the day. I'd say it went from plus to minus, red to green to red to green, whatever, 4 or 5 times. And in the last 15 minutes, it lost about 70 points. It had been up about 140 points, 130 points, with 15 minutes left in the day, and gave back half of that to close up 65 points. The NASDAQ and the S&P aren't worth looking at. They closed flat on the day. I think the charts I showed you for the NASDAQ would be very similar looking to what I think is going to happen for the Dow. So I want to review. The IBB is probably not worth looking at either. Let's take a quick look. IBB. That's a biopharmaceutical index. And my prediction here is that we actually will not go very far below the 61.8% fib retracement that we already put in. Maybe we get down as low as 106, something like that. So I think we have the least downside risk on the IBB because we've had so much shaved off already. So I think the IBB will outperform the Dow, which will outperform the S&P, which will outperform the red hot NASDAQ that has the most to give back. So you have to pay the piper sooner or later, and therefore I think the NASDAQ will be the biggest loser. I think that will lose about 18 to 20% before this market correction is actually over. AMRN, we were very high on AMRN 2 days ago. Since then, it hasn't done that well. It has gone from a high of, let's see, just yesterday, it put in a high of 2120 to a low today of 1910 to close at 1971. So it closed right on the trend line, the upper trend line, which is good that it didn't close below it, but it is heading in that direction. We only have 2 more trading days left before this triangle is no longer a triangle. And AMRN will have to decide whether it's going to test support at about 1666, or whether it's going to test resistance up about 2050. So I'm hoping that AMRN goes through the 20 mark up to the 21, 22 level and frees itself of this resistance at $20.50. That's my hope. On the downside, I'm thinking that we have a level of support at this low, which is 1850 area, and then again at this low, which is at the 1650 area. So we have 1850 support, 1650 support, $15 support. So AMRN is a very hot stock with great potential. It's a potential buyout, and it's a potential buyout from Merck. I will mention the company. Oh, no, not necessarily. I'm sorry. That's not correct. It could be a buyout from anyone. Pfizer has been mentioned. Who knows? That was misinformation. So misinformation isn't the wrong word. It's a slip of my tongue. I didn't mean Merck, although it could be Merck. Let's look at immunomedics. Okay, immunomedics is a stock we've not looked at before, but it's a very, very hot stock now. It's moved up from the lows this year of under $15 to as high as $27. It's had a nice run. I think the new trading range that it's established is from 19 to 27. It's a big trading range. But in recent days, I like the way it's behaving, completing a U or V type chart. And I think it's very, very likely to test the resistance at $27. It's behaving beautifully. They have a cancer drug that is antibody targeted therapy, or whatever sometimes called antibody drug conjugates. These names are incredible, but the name of its drug is really incredible. I won't even attempt to say it. But the drug, I think, is also for triple-negative breast cancer. That's what they're testing it on mainly, the most advanced test. So they're a clinical drug stage company that's showing very good chart, and I just like it because of the chart mainly, and because of the volume that we've been seeing on it on some updates. Nice volume today as we gapped up. There was some volume on a down day as we had a strong down day, but nice volume, rising volume on these updates. So I'm very interested in looking into immunomedics. It filled the gap that it made from 516 to 517. So it came down low enough to fill that gap. And from that, it put in a solid bottom at the $19 level. Let's see what a low was. 1924 was the low. So I see this $19 level as being terrific support. And I see it in short order testing that 27 level and hopefully going through it. So I think this is a very interesting stock based primarily on the chart. Geron, on the other hand, has a lot to get excited about. It does have a chart. So we're going to look at the chart and then hold our stomachs so that we don't regurgitate anything. Geron collapsed, of course, and the chart reflects that. It's showing 167 down 4 pennies today. All right, 2 days ago, there was a lot of 4 days ago on Tuesday, there was a lot of excitement as Geron hit a low of 161, turned around and hit a high of 188 to close at 184. That was a beautiful green candle to build off of. Unfortunately, we've had 3 give back days in a row, down, 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 red, 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 which is not unusual. So what I'm hoping for on Monday is an upward move on Geron, a nice long green candle that will make a higher high than that $1.88. How's that for an optimistic call on Monday? Probably based on just optimism, but I'd like to see that happen. That kind of pattern where you have a big green candle and then a counter trend for 3 days is fairly common. So it's not that unlikely to have a nice green candle on Monday. I think that's true of the Dow as well. I think the Dow, the Nasdaq, the FANG, the S&P are all going to have a bounce back day on Monday. Whether how far that'll take us, I'm not sure, but I think Monday will be an up day. Dr. J is predicting Monday up. I look, I have a 50% chance of being right. Okay, so that's about all I wanted to cover. The market has got me shaking my head a little bit. I don't doubt that we're just correcting and that this is not the end of the bull market. I hope. I don't think that at all. I mean, anything's possible. I'm told that they do not ring a bell at the top of the bull market. I wish they did. That would make it much easier. I didn't hear any bells go off, so I'm assuming a correction, not the end of the bull. So I'm expecting good things for after this correction is over, which might run its course through the month, through the end of October. I'm expecting a very good November, December, and January that will take us to new highs on the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P, and a big move on the IBB, along with all my little baby biotechs. This has been Dr. J coming to you live from Long Island, New York. And I appreciate you checking in. And I will see you Monday. I hope you have a better trading week next week than you probably did this week, unless you're like to go short biotechs, in which case you did just fine. Adios, amigos. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Ciao. If I can stop this broadcast now, I will. See you.